Good morning, Discord. Good morning, YouTube, X, Instagram, TikTok, all the rest. Let's get into it. Okay, so I think we had a jobs performance dealio in the broader market, which gave us this push up. You can see when the report came out around this time right here, around 8. We have the 5 at 669.24. We have a significant push up. So let's see if we're going to grab liquidity to continue, right? Maybe grab liquidity from the 5 to continue up, or if we got to grab liquidity from somewhere, right? So we're going to figure it out. Before we get started, do not consider this financial advice. Trading stocks involve risks, and owner of the channel, the traders that appear in the broadcast and their affiliate companies are not liable for any losses inflicted in relation to its content. Once you're done reading that, go to last5trading.com. Okay, let me address a concern very briefly. I'm going to explain how to use the trading plans, and it should explain a good amount. Here we go. Ready? Listen. Morning, Mr. Ramos. Here we go. So when I make the trading plan, let me look at one really quick. All right, so we see how we're breaking above the our green trend line here, but we have a secondary liquidity here, right? So what we want to look for around this level, around the break here, is a pattern within our liquidity box that would tell us what direction we're going in, right? So first we need to form a liquidity box, and then, you know, ideally, this is the ideal situation. Let me make sure everyone's paying attention, everyone's listening. All right, now listen. We're gonna look at the trading plan. Then we need to find the pattern that's gonna tell us if we're going up or down from this point here. Well, you know, we're kind of already past that point, but I'm giving you an example. So then when we get to, or let's say you get to a flexion point, right? Let's say you get to a flexion. If you're on this flexion point, what you want to do is find that liquidity, because obviously this is liquidity, right? Down, up, down. This is liquidity being built. So there's going to be a liquidity box within here. You want to find, let's say it's the down, up, down. You want to find the pattern that's going to be conducive to the down, right? So if our play is the down, you want to look in this liquidity box, and then you want to find, there's only going to be 3 patterns, right, that we're going to use. One of them is going to be like this. That's one pattern. One of them is going to be like this. That's another pattern. And then the other one's going to be like this, the bolt. So we're trying to verify where our flexion points are, or where our liquidity is breaking, right? So on the green, let's say, if the liquidity is breaking, we need to find the pattern that's telling us which direction we're going in. So let me get a little broader. So at this point here, 672.24, right when it breaks, we want to find the pattern that's going to tell us we're going to continue up, or if we're going to reject. So we're going to go to 620, or excuse me, what did I say? 72, around this area, 72.33, right? So we're going to go to 72. Okay, this right here. So now we need to look for the pattern that's going to tell us we're going to go up. What's the pattern we see? It's going to be the break, retest, and reject. So this pattern tells us that the break of this green is giving us that we're breaking the liquidity, because we broke, retested, and rejected the liquidity. Does any of that make sense, Shayna? Shayna, that was for you, by the way. So the same thing, you know, when we're talking about the 5, it's going to be the same principles, the same concept. So let me just clear up everything really quick. Now, when we're talking about the moving average, the 5 moving average, there's a lot of liquidity at the 5. The rules kind of change at the 5. So ideally, let's say, you know, I'm saying the BRR of the 5. What we want to do is, this is an ideal scenario. We want to find the algo that's going to give us the break. So we want to break it. So let's say this is the 5. We want to find the algo that's going to give us the retest, like this. Let's say it's purple or whatever we decide. And then we want to find the algo that's going to give us the reject. So that could be a smaller, shorter term. That could be like this. But ideally, so we want to find the break, the retest, and the reject at the 5, wherever this is. So the break, the retest, and then the reject. And then we want to be in this one to travel down. Does that everyone get that? Now this is just an example. This is ideal. So if we find the major algos, we want to find the major one that breaks it, the major one that retests it, and then when we break this major one, that should give us our down, right? Because we want to look for a break, a retest, and a reject. This is ideal what we're looking for. Now, sometimes there's going to be where it's like just that one candle deal where it doesn't give us the entire movement, right? So when I'm doing the algos, there's movement inside of it. It's not just the candles going down, down, down. There's going to be movement within the algorithm. Okay, so there's another way we can break, retest, and reject the 5, which is if we have a lick box. Let's say we have a lick box and it builds up a whole bunch of liquidity, then you can expect maybe the, where it breaks on the one candle, retests on the one candle, and rejects off the one candle. But ideally, we like to have the movement within the algorithm or within the trend line. Does everyone, let me see if everyone got that. All right, I'm reading the Discord chat. Let me see what you guys got. Okay, cool. So again, those are ideal situations, ideal scenarios. So whenever you see those set up, this is the A1 setup. Like, you know what I'm saying? These are the A1 setups we want to look for. All right, let's get into it. So today is going to be a very short day. I'm going to get a couple hours in, and then I have to head off to do some stuff. And Thursday will be normal stream, but Friday we're going to do the same thing. Yeah, so this week may be a little curtailed, but I'll get you guys set up first. So from this point here, any puts has to be a BRR, a break, retest, reject, underneath this 5. We have to do something like this. It has to look something like this for any legitimate puts. Now, I'm not saying we can't retrace down to here, but I'm saying if you want some safety on your put callouts, quote unquote safety, it needs to look like whatever I just drew. Right? Because all we're doing is identifying patterns. That's all we're doing, identifying patterns and the most likely setup for success. Now look, we have 74. That's a nice round number. You see that they're a little struggle right here at 74. So we're gonna look for a break and retest or we're gonna see if 74 forms some type of support. Now look, if it just breaks 74 and keeps going and never retraces, then we miss the play, right? Then we just miss it. But we need to find something that tells us that we have an entry here. Now again, on the trading plans, wherever the flexion point is, you see with the flexion point, we need to translate that onto our either 5 minute or 1 minute and see the pattern that's forming, so we know what direction is most likely, right? So a down pattern is going to look like this, or like this, or like this. These are all the down patterns, right? And then the up patterns are, you know, the exact opposite. So let's get some data. We're gonna get data, and then I'm gonna get you guys going. Now yesterday, around this spike right here, this was annoying. Oh no, what was it? Yeah, it had to be. This spike right here, the market's gonna grab liquidity from somewhere. So they wanted to push it down, they needed to grab the liquidity from somewhere. So remember that. They're always gonna grab liquidity from somewhere. It has to be, a lot of people have to be stopped out before the market can move in the opposite direction. Now look, we see at 74 a lot of resistance, right? So if 74 is going to be, if we want to look for calls, we need to find continuation above 74. What does continuation look like above 74? It's going to be either this, right? That's one. Or we're going to look for this. That's two. Or like this. So above 74, we have to look for one of these patterns. Now, because we're day trading, right? We're doing 0 DTE, most of us doing 0 DTE options. The pattern we would like to see is something more dynamic, right? Because it's, for the other ones, it's gonna take some time to develop. So we like to see the bolt. And look, we see this resistance at 74. So either they're going to build up some liquidity within here, and then once the liquidity pops, bang, we want to look for that, and then that. So now we need to let this little liquidity box play out, right? The retest 671.30. Holy full port calls, but it ain't gonna happen. This is from Hanmura. I'm gonna call you Han because I don't know if you're Japanese or not. Now, when I first started trading, I used to jump in on these thinking breakout, right? Here's a breakout. And what I never waited for was the retest and the reject. And that ended up being costly for me. Number one, I couldn't hold longer than seconds at the time, maybe a few minutes at best. But so I had to be comfortable with the fact that if it goes without me, it's gonna go. I know what I would prefer to see, a preferred setup for me. You know, ideally, you like to see that retest of that level. All right, let's look at a higher time frame. All right, above the water, above the water, above the water. So everything's pointing up. We're in the uptrend. Now we have to look for our call entries, but we need a pullback first, right? We need some type of pullback, something that tells us we're gonna have more strength to the upside. So from here, you're buying calls at the top, and I don't recommend buying calls at the top. It's not something I advocate for. If you're good at finding breakouts, then maybe that's your forte. Otherwise, we need a break and a retest, or we need a deeper pullback, right? Or we need a deeper pullback. And don't forget, if you're tired of seeing me always moving the screen, you can use the charts in the charts channel, and you don't have to worry about me moving the screen so much. All right, so now we're going to see if they're grabbing liquidity like this. We're going to see if they're doing one of these, or if they need to grab, if they want to go deeper, or if they want to reject it. So there's only 3 options from here. It has to be one of these 3. Let's look to see where the next level up would be reasonable. 7601. So we're gonna look for 7601 or 76, right? We're gonna, okay, 7601, even better. Okay, so now we need to ask ourselves, is this enough liquidity to propel us to at least the next level? This is the next question that's on your mind. All right, now we're going to be able to test to see if this magenta is going to get us to 7206. So if you're the type that likes to play the flexion points, then, you know, if you like to do 50-50s or flexion points, then you can put a tight stop. You can put a very tight stop on your plays, especially on ones that I draw. There's really only one direction from a certain point here. Even, you know, I'm not saying there's not going to be continuation later, but from a certain point, you know, you'll see it time and time again where the only path is up for the meantime. And then it'll go to a 50-50. And if we get above that 50-50, we're looking to whichever direction, up or downside, right? So if you're playing flexion points, you can put a tight stop, very tight stop. Now Discord, we should be using this 5-minute chart. On the 5-minute chart, we're still in magenta, and ideally we want to see if we break purple. Now on the 1 minute, we're high above the water. We need to see if they're going to form a weak bear cycle. And the weak bear cycle should keep us inside of purple, or even inside of, depending on the strength, even inside of magenta, but at minimum purple. Also, we're coming up to secondary liquidity green. So this is going to be a major, in my opinion, this is going to be a significant level right here. Wherever this green is, in my opinion, is going to be significant. So maybe a little volatility if we get up to that green. we still got to deal with 74. So if you're taking trades, let's say you're looking for calls because we're in the uptrend and you're looking for calls. From this point here, you kind of see where your stop loss has to be, right? Kind of either one option would be underneath this lick box right here. Another option would be 71.93. That all depends on your risk tolerance. It's a kind of slow price action today. So what we have to consider now, because we see the price action in the morning, we see the price action. So we have to ask ourselves, did the move already happen? Is the market now consolidating? That's what we need to ask ourselves. Did the longer term move happen, and is the market consolidating? This is what you need to ask yourself. All right, we want to test to see if it's going to be build in purple and break the blue. And I'm also interested to see if it's going to be build in magenta and break the teal. So for the up, we need to test purple and blue. For the down, we need to test, what is this? Magenta and teal. All right, let's see if teal can get us to our, what is this? The bottom of the lick box. All right, let's look at VWAP. Okay, possible. Very possible. So on this short, very small time frame, we see that there's a possible 50-50 right here. Now we need to let the market tell us. Remember, we're in an uptrend. And that uptrend is not going to be broken until underneath the 5. So there's going to be a few flexion points all the way to the 5. When we get below the 5 on a break and retest, then we'll look the other way. But from this point here, if we know we're in an uptrend and you're buying puts, you have to be scalping. Does that make sense? You have to be scalping and you go level by level. If it goes all the way to the 5, great. Even better. I'm going to mark out high a day. All right, we're still inside our purple. I'll change this color here. Those are two different ones, my bad. Now, from this point here, we're at the mercy of inside of this lick box, right? So if you took this flexion point up here and you went level by level by level, this is what I mean by level, right? We have it all marked out. All right, VWAP is VWAP's just another indicator. It's telling you from the last however many candles, this is where the average price is at from the last however many candles, right? So it's just giving you an average. So if you're above that, it's telling you you're above average. If you're below the average, which is essentially indicating your trend. But I mean, we can see the trend. we don't need to look too hard. We can see the trend. Now, VWAP is, a lot of people use VWAP to trade off of. So it's a thing. It's another way to measure your trend value. So look, while you're in this lick box, you're at the mercy of this lick box. And I think a lot of us, we don't use, we don't give our stop losses or whatever it is a range. We follow the candles as it's going. You need to give it a little bit of room to either retest and reject, or you need to give a little bit of room for the candle to grab liquidity inside the last candle. If you keep following it too close before you can comfortably move your stop. When I'm saying comfortably move your stop, I mean when you get over the hurdles, right? So let's say you bought up here, the first hurdle was here, the second hurdle is going to be here, so on and so forth. You got to wait for these hurdles to be cleared. And then you move level by level. Usually the hurdle is a level. Usually. I'm pretty good at that. All right, so we're gonna keep this teal, right? Because the teal did exactly what it's supposed to do. It went from teal to the bottom of the lick box. We knew that this teal built up enough liquidity for us to get something out of it. I'm just gonna clean up the chart just a little bit. Now, I had someone ask, why don't we use VWAP more often? The reason why I don't use VWAP, because I don't need it. We don't need it. You understand? Like, it's just more noise. No matter where VWAP is, I know a certain thing needs to happen. It simply must be like that. I didn't need VWAP to know that if we get below this, break and retest, if this pattern here forms, I didn't need VWAP to know that. That's why, and I don't want to add too much on the screen. We just need the price to tell us what's going to happen. We only had 3 options from this point here. There's only 3. So we knew our best bet would have been this break of teal. Even though it was a test, we're going through it. I'm explaining what the process is, right? We want to build in, what is this? Magenta, break the teal. Everyone cool? Everyone get it? Yep. There you go, David. Where's VWAP? Let's see. Now look, we know we're in the uptrend. So you have to be... You're in the uptrend. You got to chase puts. I'm not saying to stop yourself out if you got in here or if you got in the break and retest here. I'm saying we're in the uptrend. We'll look the other way below the 5. So nothing's changed. I'm just going to clean up the chart just a little bit. Now they're retesting VWAP. So we want to see how they react off of this blue now. I want to see the reaction off of, yeah, blue. All right, right to key level. Exactly the key level. So this is, you know, we're not going to get much better than whatever I'm doing on the screen. Today's been, you know, pretty solid. We're not going to get much better than whatever's happening on the screen right now. And look, I always tell you guys that these paths, I get it right 80% of the time. You got to watch out for that 20% where it doesn't track exactly along. The other 20% is going to look like what I'm drawing, right? It's going to have the same trajectory. But this one, pretty gosh darn good. This one's pretty good. And remember, this is freehand drawing. I'm doing this freehand, just off my mind. So it didn't matter where VWAP was. That's what I'm trying to explain. We don't need VWAP. We don't need to rely on indicators. The indicators, they're gonna lie to you. They're only gonna tell you what's already happened. We need to find out what's most likely before. We need to know a little bit before. We need to get that data. There's a comment in the Discord. So indicators are like my wife. All right. But look, today, you know, so far, based on the price action, it's been textbook. This has been textbook. We're not going to get it any easier than what it just was. And we knew it had to be some downward, right? We knew there it couldn't have. Here's the thing. You know how I always say, if it shoots up without us, oh well, it shoots up without us. There's nothing you can do about that. This is what I'm talking about. If this would have kept going, then, you know, we would have been chasing it. This is what I'm talking about. We needed for it to break, retest, and we needed a rejection. But instead, what happened? It got below. It got comfortable. It did the dance. Look at the dance. Look at the dance right here. The quick down, up, down. This is the dance right here. So when I'm saying the dance, you want to look for the dance. The dance is always okay. Okay. Uh, 71's, well, you know, I think from here every round number is gonna be pertinent. Every round number from here. So look, if you took the break of purple, which was our entry for the Discord. Now look, I know the 1 minute was probably a little sexier, but from purple, that's 73.37 to where it is now, to the key level. 71. This is 2 full points. 73. Actually, I think 73.28. Okay, yeah, the 1 minute a little sexier. I think we used this break here, yeah. So on our 5 minute chart, this purple accounted for this lick box here. So a little extra insurance. Now, if it goes down to infinitum from here, great. But otherwise, we're in the uptrend. We need to be chasing our profit and being okay with whatever the money is we come out with. So if you're new and you just watched everything that just happened, how we went through line by line, candle by candle, algo by algo, it just has to happen like that. Now you understand that if it doesn't happen like that, then it's not our trade. It's not for us. That's not our setup. I have a very specific criteria. Very specific. And if it doesn't look like that, if it doesn't do what, I'm going to clean up the chart. If it doesn't do what we need to do, then we don't have to be in every single leg of every single move. You don't need to think about like, oh, I missed that play, or we could have made money here. Everyone's going to say you could have made money here. Everyone's going to say that. I could have done better. I could have sold here. I could have bought here. Everyone's going to say that. So we're never going to get, in my opinion, I don't think we're going to get 100% of the move. You know, but we got to be okay with something. We're going to build that something. Watch, you'll see. You will see. Now, all right, look, we're at this blue. We needed to see what's going to happen at this blue, right? We needed to see what was going to happen at this blue. It was very important to see. We need to see the pattern now that's going to tell us if we're going. You know, this is sideways from here. There's actually no trade in here. From here to here, there's nothing to do. Okay? There's nothing to, if you're not in a trade, there's nothing to do from here to here. We still want to look for the building, what is this? The building magenta, the break of our teal. We still got to look for that if there's going to be more downside, and preferably we want to get below the 5 before any of that happens, right? So we want to break the 5, possibly in our, this is for you, Shayna. We want to break the 5. This is ideal. This is the ideal setup. We want to break the 5 in our purple. We want to retest the 5 in our magenta. And then we want to know that we rejected the 5 in our teal. You got it, Shayna? This is for you, right? So we want, this is the ideal setup. We want to break the 5, retest the 5, reject the 5. This would be ideal. Go ahead and type. I'm waiting for you. Okay, cool. This is the ideal scenario. Now, look, you see this purple? How wide it is? You got to be able to deal with all this. You got to be able to deal with all this. So when I'm saying we're in the thing until we're not, we're in teal until we're not. We're in purple until we're not. We're in blue until we're not. This is the rules. These are the rules. As long as we understand the rules, it's going to be a lot easier to do this stuff. Now look, today was you know, everything was perfect today. It's not always going to be perfect like this, right? Today was just, in the morning time, it was just perfect like this. So now look, we see our buying channel here. You see the buying channel? And then we see our selling channel. The break of the buying channel or the selling channel, all it does is tell us is that there's a break here. We want to look for the bigger algo. We want to look for the blue or the teal. This is what we want to look for to see how it reacts to these levels. When it just breaks the buying or selling channel, that's it. It's just broken that. That's all we know. So it could sidestep. So let's say on the downside, we broke the selling channel, right? The price could sidestep for a bit before continuation. And then you might see a lick box forming here. Or now that we broke it, it could say, oh wait, hold on. Here's the lick box here. Let's see if we get above and retest and do that. Okay, so this is what has to happen. If it doesn't happen like this, then our setup's not there, and that's not our trade, right? Then I don't know, maybe look for VWAP or something. I don't know, but this is how it works. So I'm trying to go heavy on the teaching today because I gotta cut it short today. I'm gonna cut it short. Yeah, so build in purple, break the blue for up. Build in magenta, break the teal for down. Now look, we're at our key level right here. We know it's gonna be, they're gonna have to figure some stuff out right here. What we know, so we see this quick down up. Is this a stop hunt? That's what we need to be asking ourselves. Is this a stop hunt, or do they just need to grab more liquidity from, hold on, let me draw it. From this lick box for continuation? Now we got to wait to see. There's no trade in here really. We know what the setups are. So let me erase this one really quick. I'll just give you an example. Now we need to let teal form again. Hasn't formed yet. I'm actually going to wait for everything to form because I'm being preemptive. We really need to see what we're going to do on this blue. We need to see what we're going to do on blue. If you're trying to trade off of YouTube and TikTok and stuff, it's going to be hard. You need access to the 5-minute chart. It's simply a must do. Don't forget, we're in the uptrend. So if you're buying puts, you're fighting the trend.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
This blue is going to be important, I'm telling you. So we'll see what happens on teal. I think they might be changing up the algo. I think they're changing up the algo. So we're probably gonna have to introduce a new color here. Now we need time. We need to sit on our hands and wait off to the sideline. Right, our setup was on teal. Our setup was on underneath the lick box. Now we need to wait. There's nothing really to do in here. I think they're changing up the algo now. Remember, high a day is at 74.45. So there's only, all right, there's, I think there's a few patterns we want to look for if they want to continue up, okay? Here's the patterns we want to look for if they want to continue up. Ready? Here we go. Watch. We want to look for if they want to continue up. This right here, that's one. That's two. That's three. So we have to look for these patterns if they want to continue up. If they want to continue, okay, we had Andre Roldan. Essentially, yeah, so it would be a bull flag, right? Either one of those would produce a bull flag. Possibly like this. But whatever those patterns are, that's the up pattern. You need to look for that. If it wants to continue down, that's kind of difficult from this point here. We gotta wait for the 5. We gotta wait for the 5. The only thing I possibly see for the down would be like this. It's kind of far away. This would be ideal for down. It's far away though, because we're in the uptrend. But any quote unquote safety has to be below the 5. Yeah, Andre Roldan, if you want any real, you're better off in the, you seem like you know a little bit, but you need to join the Discord. You need to join the Discord. It's going to be easier for you. All right, so we got to let them figure out what's going on in here. We'll extend this a little bit. Kind of don't want to, but that's what we got. I want to put it back. I want to put it back. There. All right, so we see here, let me clear this. Now we might see a possible this and this. So they're testing this liquidity box again. By the way, everything we went over this morning is already in the lessons. Everything we went over this morning is already in the lessons. When I say the algo's changing, I just mean it doesn't mean that necessarily that the trend itself is changing. It means the angle of approach is changing. Not that the trend is changing, that the angle at which they're achieving their goal, that's changing. Remember, let them figure this out in here, okay? Let them figure it out. We don't need to even think. We don't need to think too hard. From this point here, from this stuff in here, either we're gonna chop or we're gonna do this. It has to be one or the other, right? It has to be. This is the math. And if they stay in between here for the rest of the day, then that means there's no trade. That means there's no trade. Simple. Now look, we see volume dying off. Look at the volume dying off. So we need to see this. Now we have 18 minutes on this 30-minute candle. One candle pattern we can look for on the 30-minute chart is a strong push in green, 2 red candles, and then green continuation. So let them figure out what's going on in here. We don't need to think about it. We are going to make sure that one of them is our exit liquidity. Got a little under 2 minutes on this candle. Little under a minute. Little over 4 minutes on the candle. Little over a minute on this candle. Okay, I'm gonna step away for a quick second. I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. I'm actually gonna be a few minutes. I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. I'll be right back. Just stay calm. Okay, I'm back. Oh, is it going sideways? Oh, sideways, a little down. Let's see what we had. You would have had to jump right in on the break of this teal at 72.69 to 73.45. This would have been the play right here. Yeah, you would have needed to play the 5-minute chart for this. See what they got in teal. Remember, this blue is going to be significant. This blue right here, which is kind of lining up with the teal. I'm gonna mark out lower day. Okay, the break of teal on the 5-minute. You broke right here. Let's see, 72.69-ish, and then it went to 73.45. All right, for the put side, let's see what this teal has. Okay, they broke this blue. Lower day at 71.58. If we break and retest lower day, we got to look the other way. There's no volume. Volume died off. blue broke. Teal broke. If you took the break of this teal, you need to protect your trade. On the break of blue here, it forms secondary liquidity, but on the break of blue from 73.05, the most you could have got out of it was 73.49. This is over the 30 cents. On teal here, on the break of this teal, you need to protect this trade. It would have been, if you're looking for puts, it would have been on the break of purple right here. So even if you were to get this, let me zoom in. If you were to get this at the absolute worst fill from 29, you would have had to be right on it at 47. All right, we're at lower day. Adjust your stops. I think this one here, kind of a dud. Kind of duddish. This one here is a good win. Now, instead of buying at the bottom, what you're gonna have to do is wait for a break, a retest, and a reject. I like how you didn't give up on the play. I like how you didn't give up, and obviously you didn't over leverage because you're able to recover. That's what I was saying. It's very hard to be wrong twice in a row. Very hard. I think you understand that by now. Very hard to be wrong twice in a row. So what's going to happen is either we're going to significantly mitigate the loss, or you may come out with a little bit of profit. And for this one, you would have had to be on top of it, really on top of it. The entry was actually somewhere down here, but it would have been hard to catch because it's still, you know, we wanted the confirmation close. All right, if you're doing exit strategy 1 or legs, if you're doing exit strategy legs, you need to tighten up your stop. If you're waiting for the cross back above, you're gonna have to survive a lot of discomfort. Yeah, we got to live the fight another day. That's the important thing. Live the fight another day. If there's any more put, it has to. I mean, we're fighting the trend, so under the 5 is going to be your best bet for puts. That's just the answer. Because remember, we still have to watch out for the path up, right? It could be like this. So we have to watch out for this. This is still a thing. We never broke low a day. On the 5 minute, it may look, that's not really. I wanted to say like this and like this. But this wick right here makes me hesitant because of this wick. This is chop inside here. We have to be above this or below this. Inside here is chop. If you're in here, you're scalping. Let's use yellow on the 5 minute. Oh, I think it lines up with that. Still lines up with blue on the 1 minute. Use yellow on the 5 minute. Yesterday was choppy too. We had some good plays, but yesterday was pretty choppy too. Because here's the thing, the move happened overnight or at pre-market. You gotta measure risk to reward on this teal because lower days right here. If they get under this red, let me see if I can make a quick buck. All right, look, we see what's happening, right? Here, let me clear it up. We're gonna see the pattern right now. Look, this is what's happening. One of them's gonna get tired. So the bears keep trying to tap on 71.58, keep trying to tap on 71.58. And the bulls keep pushing it back up, pushing it back up. So one of them is going to win. They won't give up 71.58. Or 60, whatever you guys have. We see it right here. This is pretty clear. One of them's going to give up. One of them's going to have to win. I'm going to be quiet for a little bit. I'm just paying attention. Okay. Okay. Whose armpits are sweaty? Okay, there we go. I needed that. All right, quick buck. Here we go. All right. Okay, this is a good move, right? This is a good play right here. This is a good play. Told you I was gonna make a quick buck. Told you I was gonna make a quick buck. We needed this one. Look, we had rejection off secondary liquidity. One of them had to win. It just had to be. Just don't overstay your welcome here. Watch out for 70.43. Just don't overstay your welcome. If you made money, make the money. Okay, here we go. There we go. Look at the money we just printed. Look at this money. Dang! Woo-wee! Look, this is why we stick with it. It's hard to lose at the end of the day. Once we got it figured out, that's all we needed. That's all we needed. We got it figured out. It took a little bit of time, but we got there. We had to... Look, we identified this pattern, right? One of them had to win. One of them had to win. It had to be. Now, I went extremely heavy, so I'm gonna... Let me tighten up my stop. I haven't even tightened my stop. Okay, look, tighten up your stops now. Now tighten up your stop. You know, I couldn't be any more clear than there was even a retest. There's even a break and a retest. There's even a break and a retest right here. So, oh my goodness. Yeah, this one went quick, Andre. You would have had to. You actually had some time. You had some time. Okay, we made it. We made it. Okay. Yeah, Andre, you could have got it. 3K, he's on or Mr. Roldan is on what do you call it? YouTube. I don't think they can see your comment. Well, they can't see your comics. They're on YouTube. But you're not wrong with whatever you're saying. Look at the money we just printed. From 71. Okay, this is a good move. We needed this one, right? Easy claps. Easy. Yeah. We did it, J-Hulk. We did it. We did it. That's why we just got to stick with it, right? It's hard to be wrong twice in a row. It's very hard to be wrong twice in a row. Because whenever we get wrong, that just means it shows us where the money is. That's what I've been trying to tell everybody. It just shows us where the money is. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Look at this. Look, I couldn't have been any more clear than the freaking red arrow or red ranger. I couldn't have been any more clear. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And 3K, there you go. You stuck with it. You stuck to the plan. They don't always have to work, but by the end of the day, we're going to win the war. We're going to win the war, or we're going to significantly reduce any loss. We just have to stick with whatever the shit I'm saying. We'll be okay. We're going to be okay. And don't over leverage. Yeah. As long as you don't over leverage, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Okay, right? Right? J-Hulk, he listens to the context clues. I knew I was going to make a quick buck. I knew it. It had to happen. I was like, watch, I'm going to make a quick buck off of this for sure. I already knew it. It had to happen. There could be no other way. J-Hulk, he listens. He listens to the context clues. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, I'm going to let this settle out. I'll be right back. Don't overtrade. All right, if you're looking for second bite at the apple, you need to start paying attention now. If you're looking for second bite at the apple. So look, we're in this blue, okay? They gave us secondary liquidity. That's why I faked this out on this one. Because they formed secondary liquidity. And then you can see how they tested the liquidity, they couldn't break it. So they were stuck between secondary liquidity on blue and red right here. But I think breaking into this, this blue was major. This blue was also a major thing. Because we see the rejection, they finally broke it. And then we stayed inside this teal. So this is secondary liquidity. So we didn't know this before. We needed the data. Once we got the data, we understood what had to happen. Certain things needed to happen. Now look, we're in yellow. Look, top of yellow, bottom of yellow, top of yellow, bottom of yellow. See it? I knew they had to. I knew they changed the algo. I just had a hard time finding it. I knew it was changing though. I knew they changed it. Top of yellow, bottom of the yellow. Top of yellow, bottom of yellow. So now you need to figure out whatever you can survive. We're in yellow until we're not. Yeah, for sure. Listen, I had to call it early today. So I'm gonna let this play for a little bit more. I'm gonna start getting ready in the background. And then I'm gonna check in every now and again. So I'll be here for a little bit, just checking in, but give me a second, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get ready in the background.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Okay, so they're retesting this red 7158. Okay, so 7158 is gonna be obviously it's a major thing. So we have they're gonna form. This is what we have right now. So if they break below, retest, and reject, you can only look for the 5, okay? Otherwise, we're in yellow until we're not. So Discord, you got to use whatever we have on the screen right here. Whatever we have on the screen. They might want to do this to stay in yellow. If they break yellow, you already see where it is, right? Okay, Discord, I'm gonna leave this on the 5-minute chart. This is the answer. We're in yellow until we're not. If we break yellow, expect a retest of yellow. If they break and shoot off, my bad. But you see what it needs to look like. If they want to continue, look for this continuation right here for the continuation pattern, or a rejection of this yellow, right? Look, let me so if you're gonna stay and do this to yourself all day, I'm gonna check in later, but watch. You see the shadow zone. This is our movement, right? This is our movement. If we're looking for either this for continuation or the rejection of yellow for continuation. Otherwise, this needs to happen for yellow, okay? All of this needs to happen for yellow, for the break of yellow for calls. So use the 5-minute chart if you're going to sit here and do this. Also, if you guys want to talk to each other, go into the water cooler. You all can talk to each other and act a fool. Just be funny but respectful, Jones. So do that. But look, the good thing about being ugly as sin is that I can get ready quick. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to check in a little bit, probably on my phone. I can't take my phone where I'm going, but I'm going to leave. I'm going to have to leave the building and check my phone and stuff. So I'm actually going to leave. I'll just leave this running. Do I want to leave it running? I'm going to be gone for hours. So I'm going to shut off the live stream. If you're interested in learning how to trade with us, go to livespytrading.com. I will get you sorted out. We had a last minute win on that. Unfortunately, it took me a while to identify this yellow, but we identified the yellow. So we're in yellow until we're not. If you need access to the 5-minute chart, go to the website and we'll get you sorted. Okay. Discord, I'll be back I'll definitely be back before end of session, right? But I'll try to check in. These are the paths, okay? These are the paths. This is it. This is the answer. Whatever's on the screen on the 5-minute chart is the answer. All right? I love you. I'll be back. Daddy's going to get some milk and cigarettes. I'll be right back.